Has the Man of Steel and his extended superhero family finally met their match in the Chain, a villain with a strange and dark history with Lex Luthor? Well, let's hop into the pages of Superman issue number 8 and find out what happens next together, shall we? So then, as we join this newest issue, we're actually treated to the origin of Sammy Stryker, the young boy who would be the Chained. As you'll remember, Stryker's father is actually the man behind Stryker's Island, the prison. Well, as it turns out, back in the day, Stryker Sr. wanted Lex Luthor to work some of his science mojo to try and make his guards stronger. In doing so, he experimented on his own good-for-nothing son, giving him tactile telekinesis. Little Sammy was actually quite an intelligent kid and was already theorizing as a boy that if he can manage to manipulate things with his mind just by touching them, there's no telling how powerful he could be one day. Up to and including perhaps manipulating matter on a subatomic level and maybe even potentially time traveling. And hey, you know what, if that isn't them signposting something that's going to happen in the future, I don't know what is. That's not even the best part though. Apparently the experiments with Sammy Stryker went over so huge with Stryker Sr., he actually sent Lex's research over to the Cadmus program, where many years later they would take DNA from Superman and Lex Luthor and create their own clone, Connor Kent, which means the reason he has tactile telekinesis is because he's actually related to the Chained. Now back in the present, we see that Sammy had come to a meeting with Dr. Graft and Mr. Farm, the two mysterious villains who have been trying to ruin both the lives of Superman and Lex Luthor. They want the Chained to join their little cabal. And while Sammy is certainly evil and dangerous, he's not stupid. He knows Graft and Farm will almost certainly screw him over, and he would much rather go about getting his revenge on Luthor all on his own. Now back with Superman, him and the rest of the extended Superman family are still attempting to rescue people from the rubble caused by the Chain's last attack. This one guy managed to thoroughly run circles around Superman and his extended family, which means the only way they're going to be able to get a leg up on him is to go to the man who created him in Lex Luthor. This is actually the first time Luthor and Superman are seeing each other since Lex survived an attempt on his life in prison. What's even funnier too is that Superman totally recognizes that Luthor is here with his mother and daughter. In fact, Superman is quick to remind the reader that he's actually the one who saved the life of Lena Luthor when she was possessed by Brainiac, stuff that I'm again certain will be much more important down the line. Luthor also says that there would have been a time in his life when he was a worse man that he probably would have held a grudge against Superman for not saving his life, but he's a different guy now, more forgiving, and is willing to look past the whole getting stabbed thing. He also gives Superman the edge that he's going to need to take down the Chained. Of course, Lex was smart enough to put in a back door to defeating Sammy in case he should ever turn rogue, and turn rogue he did, murdering his own father, which in turn is why Lex locked him away in the first place. Lex thought the best way to control the Chain is with an element that he was essentially allergic to, something that they could get through his force fields with, and wouldn't you know it, at that time he was experimenting with a strange new element he discovered in Kansas. Yes, that's right everyone, the Chain's Kryptonite actually turns out to also just be regular Kryptonite. It's at that moment too the Chained ends up attacking Lex in his hospital room, killing a bunch of the prison guards before taking Lena hostage. Lex actually swoops on in to save his own daughter, while Superman, Connor, and the others give chase. Once again, to win this battle, Superman is going to have to call on his brand new resources given to him by Supercorp. He gets Kryptonite gauntlets as well as a suit to protect himself. This fight goes pretty well with the new Kryptonite edge allowing Superman to get some good shots in. Still though, the Chain proves to just be way too powerful for anyone to really get a handle on. Luckily for Superman though, he never actually intended to win this fight, only to distract the Chain long enough for Connor to come on in and put the tactile telekinesis whammy on him. Which is actually a really nice character moment for Connor, who had been feeling like a pale imitation of the Chain's own power since he learned about their connection, so the fact that he actually gets the win in this one is really good for him. Before he goes down though, the Chain does actually end up making some reference to stuff that Farm and Graft told him, that Lex was involved with the Parasite and Banshee, but also Marilyn Moonlight, which just kind of screams to me, hey, we're going to be having a time travel story soon enough. Also, even though Superman had won the fight, that much exposure to Kryptonite in a broken suit has left him grossly banged up as the comic comes to a close. And so that was Superman issue number 8, everyone, and overall I thought this was a fun and exciting conclusion to this Chain storyline. DC Comics doesn't really turn out as many new villains as Marvel does these days, but for what it's worth, I actually really like the Chained Sammy Stryker as a foe. I like his connection to both Lex Luthor and the Superman family. I think he has a strong first showing here, and I definitely hope he comes back later on for round 2. I know I've said it before, but it certainly bears repeating, this Joshua Williamson era of Superman certainly seems to have fans family as a central theme. Clark is leaning on his extended super family more than ever before. Lex's own dysfunctional family has blown back into his life and brought with it a ton of drama, and then you have the Stryker family, who we're only learning about for the first time here, and geez, they might be as messed up as the Arkham family. Overall, I think I'd feel comfortable giving this one an 8 out of 10. I enjoyed it, and I can't wait to see what Joshua Williamson does in his next arc.
Hey there everyone, it's your old pal Cape Joel again, thanking you so much for watching to the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, why not check out my Amazon link down in the description. Yes, that's right, the Cape Joel channel officially has its own Amazon storefront now. You can pick up a comic or anything else for that matter, and if you did, you'd really be helping me in the channel. So with that out of the way everyone, I will see you again next time. Bye-bye.